Hi guys, I have Gia here with me. We're going to do a little makeup tutorial for recital for the little faces. The application is a little bit easier as far as steps, but I'm going to teach you some tips and tricks for these little faces. I would suggest getting a brush set that's inexpensive. You can get something from e.l.f. and they have like a bunch of brushes, and I think it's like a total of $15. Or Real Techniques also has some good brushes. You don't need to spend a lot of money. I'm going to start with the eyes first, just because shadow can tend to flake off all over the face, and if you do the foundation first, you have to wipe it off and start again. So you can do whatever order you want, but this is just how I do it. So for the little eyes, you can take a smaller, dense brush, or you can use your fingers. Sometimes fingers give better pigment. But let's start with the brush just so I can show you both ways. And tilt your head forward a little bit so they can see. Yeah. All right, so you're gonna press it into the lower lid. Gia, open your eye for 1 second. So anything under that crease line. So close your eye. We'll get the darker shadow. Stamp it on. Same with the other eye. Go ahead and stamp that on. And now, because it's not very dark, I'm going to take my finger and go over that. Go ahead and close. You want darker for stage, just because the lights completely wash the makeup out. Now I'm going to take a lighter color, something similar to this, and I'm going to take a looser brush. So this is going to allow me to blend it. Just going to swirl that in, tap it out, close your eye for me, and smooth it over the top. And then for the next step, I'm going to take eyeliner, which can be really tough on littles because they don't sit still, but we are gonna do our best. So take a fine tipped little brush. You can get the gel liner. This one's Revlon Micro Stay. So I'm gonna have Gia hold her head up. I'm gonna have you look down at your hands. Yep, stay just like that for me, okay? And then I like to start on the outer corner and drag down. Sorry.
It tickles.
And I use my hand as leverage here to keep it still. And then I go over to the inner corner and drag in. As you see, the liner can get thicker if they move their eyes, which is fine. Now I'm gonna take the eyelid and kind of look down for me. Lift it up a little bit because you'll see some spaces under there. Look down. Look down. Look down. Stay looking down, please. I fill those spaces. And this is the perfect example of doing makeup on a child. Okay, so now look down for me again, and I need you to sit really, really still. And I'm gonna start on the outer corner and drag it in. All right, don't move. Look down. Look down.
I can't. My hands, the palm is your hand.
That's fine. And now I'm gonna go back. Look down again. On the inner. Do whatever you can to hold their head still. Now take your look down, and take your lid, pull it up a little bit so you can get on the inner pieces. Look down again. As you can see, this is probably never going to be perfect because they don't sit still. All right, next up, I'm going to take a makeup wipe. I use these. You can also use, Neutrogena has some decent wipes as well. And all of the eyeshadow that just fell all over her face. You can even cut these in half. You don't need this entire thing. I'm gonna have you look up for me with your eyes. Focus up, yep, to the sky. Wipe that extra shadow off.
That tickles.
Yep. Okay, and now we're gonna do the foundation. So foundation, you just want to match to their skin. It's kind of hard when you're at the store because you can't just test all these colors. At Ulta you might be able to, but I got this at CVS. So I got CoverGirl True Blend, and what I did was I just held it up to her skin. It's a little bit darker, slightly darker, just because, again, with the stage it washes you out. Don't go lighter, it'll make them look ghostly. So just do your best to match. Do a couple pumps on the back of the hand. And I like to use a brush that's dense like this. Get it on my hand. And tilt your head forward so they can see. Yeah, perfect. Close your eyes if you want, or you can open, doesn't matter either way. Just start blending it into the skin so you get a nice even canvas. You may even want to have them wear like a little headband, so if they have wispies, they're out of the way. I take the brush in right under the eyes and smooth it under. Okay, can you go like this with your lips? Yep, nice. So you want to have them make their lips nice and tight so you can get the rest of their under nose and under their chin, under their lips. And look up a little bit for me. Yep, blink whenever you need to, okay? It's easier if you just do one and then come back. Dab it in if you need to. And turn your head towards me. Yep, just so I can see better. And then I like to clean up the edges of their eyeshadow. And then I pat it. Face forward. Okay. Clean up the edge of the eyeshadow and pat it. If you see that it's streaky, just take the brush and just pat it into the skin. Next step, I will take mascara. She already has some on there because this obviously isn't our first take, but we're just gonna pretend. So take the mascara and have them close their eye and just kind of pull their lashes up a little bit, and you're gonna just do small little strokes and have them keep their eyes closed for a few minutes. The reason being is they open and they have long lashes, mascara is going to get all over their eyelids. So if that does happen, what you're going to do, nope, look down for me. Yep, keep them nice and closed. If that does happen and it gets all over the eyelid, let it dry for a few minutes, and you want to take a Q-tip and just kind of like wipe it off, and then you can go back with the eyeshadow and fill it. But keep those closed so we don't have to do that, okay? All right, so then you want to get, in order to put a powder over the foundation, like blushes and things, you want to get a setting powder. So I just have this one. You can get anything from the drugstore. Translucent color is best. You also can match their skin if you want, so it's totally up to you. Translucent just goes on translucent, completely neutral, no color. So I'm going to put a little powder in here. I'm going to use a looser brush, tap it in. I'm going to pat this on. With the older kids for eyeshadow, you can always use an eyeshadow primer and the eyeshadow will go on much smoother and stay. For the littles, you don't really need to do that, but if you want to, you can. Urban Decay is a really good one. And it looks like this. And you just apply it all over the eye first and let it fully dry with their eye closed before you put eyeshadow on. Good job, Gia. Okay, so next step will be blush. You'll want to use something like this, like a plummy or a rose, something darker. Again, it's hard to see makeup from stage, so you want to apply it more than you normally would, which can seem like a lot for little kids, but I promise it's not too much from stage. Okay, so tilt your head normal for me. Yep, just like that, perfect. You're gonna take the blush, smile for me. Yep. You're going to start at the cheek and stamp it right on there. Go back in if you need to. Stamp it on, and again, make it darker than you normally would so you can see it. Smile for me. Good job. You look so pretty. Let me see. So apples going up. Apple going up. It's easier if they smile for you at first so you can find where to put it. And then you can always take your powder brush again and just kind of smooth it out if there's any sharp edges. And then next will be lips. So lips are always challenging for little kids. If they have chapped lips, you may want to, before you start the makeup, put chapstick on or Aquaphor or anything like that to smooth them out and then wipe it off. So I'm going to get a wipe. Smile for me. And just wipe what we put on there off. There's probably a little foundation on there too, and that's fine. So now I'm going to take a red liner. Relax your lips for me. Yep, just like that, perfect. And just do small strokes. And I also like to fill in the lip with the lip liner, just because it makes it stay longer. And then follow the lip shape. And then for lipstick, you can either apply this directly, but again, they have small features, so sometimes it's a little bit tricky. So I like to take a little lip brush. It's a little small and somewhat pointy because it's easier to get into the smaller, tighter spaces. So I'm gonna have you open a little bit for me, and I'm gonna start at the bottom and just kind of fill in what we just did. And then for the upper lip, this is just a trick that I like. I like to start at the bottom and move up. For some reason, it's easier for me. So I hold the lip up like this. And open a little bit again. Yep, don't smile. Yep, perfect. So I start in the lower. Sorry, this probably tickles. Don't move. If they do move and you get it all over the face, just take a remover with a pointy Q-tip. You can get them at CVS. Something like this, you'll want a oil-free makeup remover. Shake it up really good, and then use that to clean up and then adjust the foundation if needed. And I think that is all the steps. Again, you can always touch up the eyes if you need to. Take a little darker with your finger, go on there. But that's pretty much it. Can you smile, Gia? Say cheese. Thank you.